here in the KSL Summer Slam quarterfinals. On the top right-hand side, our blue Terran player representing onside. It is Maru. Battling against the red Protoss in the bottom left. Classic. Game one of our best of five, sorry, obviously in these quarterfinals. Winner of this advances through to play tomorrow as well. In the semis, they're on the same section of the bracket as Björn and Sola. Refinery's coming up, Barracks on the way through. Maru just getting set here for the first few moments as we do have our gateway and our simulator, all of that coming out for a little bit. Again, just see where we go in terms of our build orders in these early stages. There is already a probe of Classic out and about, scouting a little on the map here just to try and see exactly what's going on, just to try and find a little bit of information and again get some confirmations as to what's up and what's happening early. Typical is already starting, and we do have the Nexus on the low ground as well. So very standard the first few moments. Maru is going to go factory before he expands, so he's going to play a little bit more aggressively. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that, of course. As the probe is kind of being across the map, is going to come back home. He's already kind of seeing what he wanted to see initially. Picking up on that and should be kind of content with it. Donka trying to come up here, and Classic going to try and deny it with a double probe. SCV doing a great job of dodging around for the moment. Triple probe denial! Okay, at some point you just got to admit that he's committed enough to actually deny this, and that's exactly the case here. As the SCV is going to go down. We actually lose the SCV trying to keep building the bunker. However, it kept the probes on the low ground, so now we get a probe in return. In theory, that's a better trade for Maru, because his SCV still had to go all the way back home before it resumed mining. Whereas Classic's probe would have obviously been able to resume mining very quickly. So in that regard, actually, it sounds kind of silly, but it's actually a better trade for Maru than Classic in terms of mining time lost from that probe. Because, like I say, Maru's would have taken a little while longer before it resumed mining or so. So actually, if that SCV truly was the reason those probes are still down there, I would say it wasn't so bad. Because we do have the Stargate coming up, the Adept coming through, bringing all of this up and about for the moment. The Stalker is going to get rid of the Reapers. The Reaper will go down. He's going to get that picked off. And again, a few Marines, the Widowmine, the Medevac, all of this building through. As you do have the Widowmine building up on, getting going on the low ground. Stargate is about to finish on the side of Classic, so bringing that up as well. Obviously give himself some early game scouting options and some early game information in general. Going to be a big part of his plan. He's going to go for the Phoenix right from the start of this. So, Phoenix to begin with. And with Phoenix on the way out, obviously you can really control this game. You can keep yourself so very safe in the early stages, and you can really keep your opponent pinned back a lot. Obviously, initially, you're really good at defending attacks as well, because the Phoenix can pick off medevacs. They can lift up singular kind of important units that are involved in drop harassment early in the game as well. So these are all great options for the Phoenix to be able to utilize. And I do imagine that these Phoenix are going to have a pretty good time in these early stages of the game. As you see, I've got Marines going to go after the Adept for a few moments. So Adept taking some damage. It will go low, but it does get out, hiding behind the mineral line, and then making the shade away on low HP. Adept gets to survive for a little while longer. That said, we do have Stalkers defensively, the Medevac moving in. And this Medevac comes straight into this main base, so we dive into it. So Medevac starts to try and deal some damage. I mean, what am I going to burrow up to recharge? 7, 8 probes already going down, making more. We're going to get 9 and 10 over here, so the damage done is pretty darn serious. And this is Classic taking a beating. In a world where it felt as though he shouldn't have really taken any damage, that Stalker goes down as well. Maru finding absolutely everything possible at this stage of the game. That is just adding up more so than, like I say, it really should. This Widowmine over here is apparently going to be able to retreat away as well. It has 6 kills on it, so this has been a hell of a time for Maru. A very successful attack, a very successful trade out. Can't imagine that Maru is feeling anything but great about how this has turned out in the early stages. A couple of barracks are coming through, and that's going to be seen as starboard. Still in the main base. Widowmine goes off on the Phoenix, so it's going to die because of the Cyclone lock-on as well. My goodness. It just doesn't get any better for Maru, does it? Like, I mean, this really is great. Locks onto the Adept, which I think does just shade away in time to stay alive. I mean, it commits into a mineral line where the SCV stops building an engineering bay to get the kill. Okay, well, he actually survived 1 HP. Someone else got the kill. We can say it was him, though, for the storyline. Why not? Brave builder stops production, knocks down criminal in the mineral line. Hailed as a hero, gets straight back to work, and didn't get his healthcare paid for either. Poor guy. Well, turns out town healthcare isn't too good unless you get access to medevacs. Probe Bay coming up. Colossus on the way through. Battery is producing. We're just going to be seeing a few units of Classic coming up on the front of the Natural. So getting those units set out as we do have... Well, we're just continuing to get going. A few more Marines, the Stim, the Combat, all coming up. The Medevac's on the way. We do have our Colossus and Extended Thermal Lance also on the way through here from Classic. So it is kind of making his attempt to tech switch. We'll see how successful he will be on that, because obviously this is a game where Maru is definitely... Maru's got to be feeling pretty good as that Extended Thermal Lance comes through. I mean, the opening's been good. He's got a lot of work. It's going to be tough for Classic to truly survive. I think a real big push of Maru, but like I say, we'll see exactly what goes down. Extended Thermal Lance definitely an important part of the potential defense from Classic, and it's not going to be done yet. His first Colossus just about to come up here, and Maru is already moving across the map, which I feel like was kind of an inevitability. We kind of just expected this push. When you've done damage like this, why would you delay coming across the map to then try and take further advantage? Cyclones lock on. Stalker taking a lot of damage. The Raven gets pushed away here. Just going to be seeing Maru pretty preemptively sieging. Actually, sorry, I thought Classic only had 1 Colossus based on the Thermal Lance timing. He actually does have 2. He just didn't start Thermal Lance up straight away as the Cyclones get a lock on. That's actually nice. Draining battery energy. Battery is now half energy and less compared to what it would have been if this fight had just started out. Obviously, we've got double Matrix available. Gonna knock 1 Colossus and now 2 Colossus down in the dive in from Maru. He gets rid of the super battery. The Immortal is not exactly going to hold its own. And I think what's going to be left at the end of this is 2 Colossi that are actually not exactly going to be in the greatest state. That Cyclone stayed locked on for a very long time. Maru dives forward. I thought a couple of Marauders there might make the play. In the end, they do not. We do now put ourselves onto this Nexus over on the other side. So this Nexus taking some shots. Well, Robo Facility is depowered. Maru might not have closed out this fight just yet, but it definitely seems as though it's going to be good enough for him, as the battery needs to save this Colossus, and we will do so in the end, forcing this backward. Few Marauders unload once again from the medevac, so we do see Widowmines burrowing. Tanks are going to be sieging. We're going to go diving on this base over here. Next is going to take some heavy shots. Pylon is going to go down. Colossi coming in from the bottom side. Widowmine shots going off immediately. The Colossus drops. I'm just going to be seeing a couple more Zealots continue to go down as our scan comes through. Just going to be seeing that Bioforce still hitting the Nexus. GG is called from Classic, and that's going to be Maru taking game number 1 of this best. In the top left-hand side, our blue Terran player representing on side. This is going to be Maru. He is up 1 in this best of 5 series, taking on the bottom right red Protoss player, Classic. Really enjoyed the Zero Space tournament yesterday. Is there any more Zero Space content coming? Nothing planned right now, but I would absolutely love to do more if they ask me back to get more done as well. I'm actually really looking forward to playing the game a bit myself. I've not had a chance to play yet. I thought the best way for me to get in and be able to cast it decently was to watch a couple of games being played instead of playing myself. So I'm really excited to actually get a bit of time off to play myself. But yeah. If they would like to do more content, if they'd like me to do more, I would be very happy to do more in the future. So really just, yeah, if they're interested, I'd be very interested. It was very fun. As we jump into game number 2 here. Zero Space, the new RTS by Cats, Scarlet, and others. It's actually pretty sick, guys. They have a Kickstarter up right now. If you want to check it out, !Zero Space. I'm not trying to make this an ad segment or anything, just genuinely a cool project that is genuinely, I think, going to be fun. to check out if you're an RTS fan. Looks awesome. Probe nibbles at the SCV as we do go back and forth a little bit for a few moments here. Just going to be having our factory coming up, our Reaper coming through. Factory going down on the front, on the main base, sorry. And obviously, again, that's just going to be Maru putting on some early pressure. He's going to go for the bunker here as well between the pylon and the Nexus, which makes it harder for the probe to hit the SCV. Man, Classic is so terrified of letting this bunker go up. He pulls 4 probes to deal with it. That is such overkill. Like, everyone else would just let the bunker go up, build a battery, and just play from there. Classic is like, no, I will sacrifice my economy to ensure this bunker will never survive. Ever. Probably because coming around, tries to find a little bit of damage. I'm still waiting to see what comes out of our factory and everything as well. Starport is on the way up. And Maru is, of course, expanding just that little bit later as we kind of expected him to. A couple Marines coming out, the Starport's still coming in. How much economy did Classic sacrifice there? Well, I mean, 4 probes. I mean, 1 probe was already pulled, but to pull 3 extra probes... For what? I mean, they've got to walk to the low ground, so that takes 6-7 seconds. They were fighting for, like, say, you know, same again, like 8 seconds or so. And they walk back up to the high ground to mine again. We're talking about, like, the better part of 20 seconds of mining. It's, like, a good, like... Probably, like, 60, 70 minerals. It's enough to kind of, in your early game, have your build order thrown off by a bit, right? Like, it's a pretty substantial amount. And, like I say, players usually do... I mean, 60, 70 minerals, but then so much... Like that's a delay rather than an investment, because yeah, sometimes you have to build a battery against this, but then you're building a battery, and then if you build the battery, you still have the battery for later on, right? As the medevac loads up, I wouldn't mind if a few Marines are going to come through. And it's going to be seeing our factory getting this going for the moment. As that Banshee comes in, I'm just going to be seeing the medevac going down to the bottom side. Just for the moment. He saved economy because the bunker can delay it more. A fair argument, but at the same time, if it was the case that you just meant to pull 4 probes to stop a bunker going up, why doesn't everyone pull 4 probes to stop a bunker going up? I've literally never seen this. Like, ever. As Stalkers absolutely destroyed this attack. This is pretty much the same drop Maru did last game. This time, Classic responds way better. 3 probes only. Everything cleaned up. Very comfortable defense. Very comfortable as we do now see our Banshee coming up, the Cloak coming in, the tank coming through. Yeah, this was a real kind of good adjustment from Classic. But Maru's not doing the same thing on the follow-up, you know? So Classic can't get lazy here. He does have a rowboat. Does he have an obs? He has 1 just popped out. And for the moment, it stays at home. It's quite important with the Banshees coming across. So often you see a player that has detection, but then they actually don't have it because it's across the map. He's moving across now, but he's building a second observer, so I think he will be okay. He'll probably still lose a few workers guaranteed, though. I think that might just be somewhat unavoidable. He will have Blink to get on top quickly, but he's just definitely going to be having to deal with the other bits and bobs. So we see our Banshee coming through. A couple probes, 2, 3, now 4th. 4th doesn't actually go down. Now it does. Yeah, it's actually nice because the Banshee gets out alive. The observer does not make it there in time, so... That is going to be first Banshee pushed back, but again can come back again later. Obviously an opportunity there, as we do see our Archon going to be finishing. Our charge is still coming up. +1 stim coming through. Our siege tank is building. Just going to have ourselves the Banshee still in the middle of the map, heading down to the bottom right-hand side. There's a couple more probes are going down. The Banshee in the main base again, and laying waste to a couple of workers there. This Banshee onto the natural is going to find, again, just another probe. This is really good for Maru. Like, the fact these Banshees are alive, they're going to remain a threat, and he's just slowly chipping away at so much of this economy. Charge is going to be finishing in just a few moments. Upgrade there going to be completing. As you do see our Stim, Combat, and +1 all continuing to produce. Charge is about to be done, like I say, on the Twilight Council as our Banshee comes in again. Just going to go towards a couple of those probes. Classic's starting to move across the map. Charge is going to be done, but he's not playing for like this attack to do too much because he is setting up for the future. He is getting Storm. That's not something that's immediately ready for an attack or anything, so it would be kind of shocking to see him try and really make like a big push or a big attack right now because, like I said, he is setting up to have a decent setup for himself in the future in the form of that Storm, and in the end he pulls these units away. Maybe if there was like third base there on position, he could have tried to cancel it, but Maru is not being greedy. He built his third in base. He knows the risks of building it on the map when he's kind of playing with harassment focus units initially. He does have a couple of tanks out, but obviously putting those out in a forward position without support is very risky as well. So again, just a case where both players kind of knew what maybe could have happened, and you know, in this case Maru didn't play as greedy as Classic was maybe hoping he did, wasn't able to take advantage, and so we continue onward as the medevac takes a few Widow Mines down the left hand side of the map. Storm is about to finish. Again, the Ghost coming up as well. Some cluster shells also coming through. Let's see, the medevac will sneak these Widow Mines over while the main army just go pushing. The scan for the Observer, and the Observer actually got away. I'm not sure if he actually... They didn't take any shots at all. Maybe didn't quite see it. But why else would you scan there if you're not trying to hunt the Observer? Banshee about to be out of energy as it flies over the natural. It's just going to go for some more probes. If you feedback that, it's not enough. So you actually do need something proper. As a lot of work is going down the Widow Mine drop, and the mineral line's going to get a lot of kills. 19 kills. It's actually going to be a Widow Mine still set up in the back of the natural as well. And Classic suddenly is just having his economy absolutely shredded. This Widow Mine does relocate one time, but there is going to be an Observer there. But it still blows up for a Zealot. Oh, suddenly Classic has just got no economy. 26 dead workers. That 4 Widow Mine drop is going to be absolutely brutal. And Classic is going to fall into a bit of trouble here as Maru comes pushing through the center of the map. And the Storm's going to go down, warning on the ramp. Marines and Marauders will take some shots. We push up this ramp, another Storm, a few more Marines taking some hits, and the EMP will come down in response. Another Storm, a few Marines is going to get caught. We are going to be seeing the tanks once again unsieging, and we continue to press forward. Our bio army will have a couple of shots going off. Some Zealots are going to take some hits. One more Storm, just going to be seeing that Ghost picked away at here, and these Zealots still charging through. Widow Mine goes off, but will not quite connect. Our Stalkers showing up as well. Archon Stalkers, everything pushing through. The Zealots continue to chase down those Ghosts, trying to make the absolute most of this as our medevacs get chased away. Stalkers continue through. The medevacs get pushed all the way out. Our bio army will be unloading. And you do see the Zealots are still charging through. Widow Mine shot to get rid of a few more Zealots. Archons and Stalkers still pressing in. Classic's counterattack is actually doing a lot of work, and he is not being halted yet. Maru might have really cut his economy off, but he still needs to deal with this army one time. Classic's army supply dead somewhere, and he might, if nothing else, be able to get the worker kills. Go, Archons, go! Go! This is your job! This is your time! Yeah, he's going to get the worker kills to at least equalize the economy in a big way. Maru not minding from a third base suddenly, and this attack across the map, Classic is going to keep this very much so alive. I think everyone was about to say 2-0 Maru, and oh, the Storms land all over the bio as well, so extra damage done. Classic is absolutely shredding at the moment. A couple of Widow Mines being dealt with without too many issues, and maybe he still is very much so in this game, as Classic has a great few moments back-to-back to set himself up in a brilliant position all of a sudden. What a fantastic chain of events for him. He was not going to let those 25, 26 workers put him down, huh? Prism is actually going to have the Vikings miss it as well. It will take some shots, but yeah, you kind of just got to unload, buddy. He tried to respond. He obviously tried to get something better out of that, but it wasn't going to happen. And so you just have the +1 attack upgrade, the Prism coming through. The army of Classic once again on that right-hand side is going to all join up together. Classic now taking a worker lead off the back of this. So again, had to come in, had to equalize. And he does just that. This Widow Mine burrowed. And will go down as it gets shot at. Stalker's trying to chase him out, trying to find a little bit more. So yeah, Classic, he lost so many workers. Comes out, he wins some fights, he gets the entire third base mineral line, which is what equalizes the worker count. Now he starts to take that worker lead as well for himself, which is kind of where Protoss wants to be with Triple Mule in play. In theory, Maru has still got better income right now if everything is set back to mine. You can see it kind of spiking back up in his favor. It should in general stay there if he continues to mule because, well, it's equal-ish workers and he's then got mules. Classic's actual current army seems decent, but he does have to go up against Ghost, and of course Ghost and EMPs can be a very sad ending to promising Protoss armies. So, especially one that's so kind of zealot focused and so energy and shield focused in general with Archons and Storms, etc. Well, Classic attacks into the third base, so that's going to be his initial kind of point of intrigue. Let's just have our Bio going to stand and fight a few of the zealots going back and forth. Going to see a little scan coming through. Back and forth we go. A couple of EMPs will go down. I'm just going to be seeing this Bioforce starting to move across. Chasing down this Archon Force. Going to get a little storm going back towards that army. Classic has to back away. Again, pushing in but not over pushing, I think, is most important. He knows that this trade is much better for him if Maru chases him because A, he can fight in a much more open space, and B, he can obviously get storms going down as Maru chases. He needs to try and get rid of these Widow Mines without them firing. They're going to go dead center on the Zealots. Okay, they actually hit kind of to the side of the Zealots, so it wasn't as bad as I thought. EMP's on the Archons. Classic's army just ain't doing enough. And it looks as though he's going to lose out on it here as he kills some SCVs. The problem will be that his standing army is not going to be very strong, and he may be alive for the moment, but it's very plausible that he dies if Maru pushes across the map and tries to take advantage here. I could absolutely see a world in which that is maybe about to happen, because Maru should know that that was obviously a pretty decent fight for him army-wise. He reset a lot of the units of his opponent, and it's now maybe time for him to take advantage of that. Some of the mine shots are just so good. As this time a few of them go off just on the front line as well. It's a little bit more manageable, but some of the splash damage is being great. At one point he even blinked into a bunch of Widow Mine splash, which is obviously not exactly ideal. Stalkers will take out one mine here. We have detection, so we can take out an active mine as well, which is always nice. A few good moments, but at the same time, mines are killing off his mineral lines, and 10 more probes go down. Classic is once again behind on the work account, and again, against a Terran player, being behind on the work account is not exactly where you want to be. This is not exactly light shining brightly for you. It's absolutely problematic as that Bio tries to dive down the right side. Storm comes in, Marine Marauder taking hits there. Another Storm hitting a few of those Marines. More Zealots will come warping in as well. Widow Mines, Marauder, Viking all building up. This orbital command will go down the left-hand side. Going to take the 9 o'clock position. Couple of Stalkers, couple of High Templars going to get set in place. Our Stalkers will go for the mine. Oh no. Okay, Maru's actually kind of winning this game off Widow Mines. So this really is a game where I think you can look at it and say Widow Mines won this game, right? Absolutely. Fire pulls back into the center. Marine Marauder mine coming up. +2 attack is on the way. Our Stalkers are building. Just going to be seeing Maru pulling back into the center of the map. Widow Mines getting set up, the Observer coming through, High Templars are still producing, and this army of Classic is going to begin to make a move out through the center of the map. He's going to have one more maybe big fight in him. His economy really isn't going to support much more reinforcements beyond that, so the problem is now, we talked about him not wanting to fight into these chokes early and being pretty responsible about it. Now you kind of lost the luxury of being able to do that, right? So now you're kind of forced into taking fights into worse positions, which should of course increase your chances a little bit. Viking goes down, a few SCVs being picked away. I'm just going to see the couple of Widow Mines are going to find themselves a few more shots. Of course they have, because, well, what else has happened in this game bar Widow Mines blowing things up? Sounds like about 10 army supply behind. Has a +2 attack upgrade lead for maybe another 15 seconds before it finishes up on the side of Maru, so we knocked down one mine there. We're going to go for a little bit extra. And this army of Classic will charge forward. The Zealots are going to get picked away. Our Archons come through. The Ghost goes down. We're actually going to start targeting down the orbital, but killing the orbital is one thing. What you're going to do about your army, really nothing at all. And I just don't think there's enough damage output in this army of the Protoss compared to the Terran. especially with the size of it, and you can just see that this is going to be everything dying. Classic knows that that will be a GG moment, and Maru can take a 2-0 lead in the best. Considering I was only here for half the month, I would never usually do 200 hours. It's just been how jam-packed the last couple of weeks have been in terms of StarCraft, so it has been busy for us. We've been doing a lot. Maybe a couple shorter days today and tomorrow will not be so bad. Did you have bottom left-hand side 2-0 in the lead from onside Maru? Oh, that was my offline caster introduction voice. That was the get the crowd cheering voice, huh? Or tone, or what's it called when you like vocalization? No, it's not it. You know what I mean. The one where it's like you act like I really. Never mind. Bottom right, red Protoss play. It's classic. Top right, not bottom right. Aye. Life's difficult, guys. Casting's hard. Enunciation? Is that it? No, it's not really it. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. Like I say, being a cast is real difficult. Having to know all these words and use them and be able to recall them at the at the time. Inflection. Thank you so much. God damn it. That's what I was looking for. Thank you. The inflection. Yeah, that was my offline introduction inflection right there. Jeez. I'm glad some of you said something because I was starting to drive myself crazy with this one. Hey, Dustin's Place, thank you so much for the 11-month resub. Keep up the great job. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the resub. Really appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the games, obviously a quick minor sellout. If you guys are enjoying, you can, of course, subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, support the channel in general. Helps us to keep on doing StarCrafts on a regular basis. Intonation, the rise and fall of the voice in speaking. That kind of sounds like it as well. What's the difference between inflection and intonation? Intonation refers more to a rise in inflection and a fall in inflection. Oh, so specifically the rise and fall, whereas inflection is the modulation of intonation or pitch in the voice. Well, so it's kind of the same thing. You could argue it's both. But overall, like, intonation is a specific kind of inflection. So I think inflection's still right. Very cool, though. Did not know the word intonation at all, as our depth goes down. Physics did not melt Wardy's brain. Casting does. Casting harder than physics, confirmed. Why do you think I had to do my masters in physics before they let me be a StarCraft streamer, you know? They don't let people do this job without a good old degree, you know? Apart from a lot of the other casters, I guess. Roddy kind of blagged his way into the business of being a Warcraft 3 pro, but we ignore him, you know. Everyone else has the proper has the proper documents. Never knew the word inflection? Yeah, no, I mean, I never knew the word intonation. There you go, we can say we taught each other something today. You know what, so... I tried to, like, you know, increase my vocabulary. Do you know how hard it is to find a vocabulary teacher for, like, adults? I tried to make a thing where I'd, like, try and learn, like, a new word every day or something. Like, this is really much more difficult. Like, I just want an app that I open once a day and it's like, hey, your word today is this. And I'll be like, oh, that's kind of a cool word. This app doesn't exist. I've talked about this on stream before. It doesn't exist in the simplistic form that I want it in, and I refuse to consume that media in any other way, okay? Did you see our Phoenix getting pushed away? The few Marines coming in there. We do have our Robo Bay coming up. Let's just have our combat shields being built as well. Factory's still about halfway done. The few Marines are coming through. SCVs are being built. There's this thing called a dictionary? Yeah, but who goes and picks up a dictionary and flicks to a random page and says, this is my word today? It's a very inefficient way of doing it. We live in the modern era with smartphones and stuff, guys. My phone should be able to tell me a new word every day. Okay? There's literally an app called Vocabulary. Really? I tried to find this out in the past, man. Like, it just didn't work for me at all. This didn't work for me at all. I'm gonna try and find it again now. Alright, starport, moving over to the reactor. And it's gonna be seen our Nexus going down on the far right hand side, so a bit of a funky place to try and set up for the moment. He's coming through. Pylon going to get picked away at. I'm just going to be seeing the Nexus over here being found, and honestly going to be difficult to defend because the Protoss has to run all the way over here. That's a cancel. And Maru is absolutely starting to run away with this game a little bit, so not looking too hard. The Colossus at least will get a few Marines. Marines are going to scramble to make some efficiency out of themselves, but they will lose. He will lose every single unit. This can get dangerous because of the Colossus. If you don't have enough to get rid of the Colossus here as Maru, there is a push that Classic can perhaps win the game with. I don't think it's very likely, but it is possible, especially as Colossus 2 is out and likely just to run across the map and join in. The only issue is its altitude. So A, it takes Classic a long time to come across, and B, it's a fairly open space you're fighting in, so kind of feels that that may allow Maru to actually deal with this anyways. He's not going to get like caught in a choke, and there's no force fields to keep bio units away either, which actually I think a lot of the time would have been a nice little addition. 10 SCVs going down. As the Colossi, yeah, the thing is, giving the SCVs up is smart as well, because now you're going to guarantee yourself having enough bio units to get on top of the Colossi with, although we actually do not get rid of the Colossi just yet, and these Colossi are going to stay alive a little bit longer. Now we lose one. The Marauder count seemed pretty good. I was kind of surprised Maru backed away the first time. But does get one Colossus in the end, maintains the lead. Even the few SCVs he gave up, he still got himself a worker advantage. He knows that having denied the third base is obviously just such a big deal that he's now really in the driver's seat. So just taking no risk, pull the SCVs, guarantee yourself a better defense, guarantee yourself a better position, as now a bio of Maru goes across the map. Colossi and Zell is going to be chilling out over there. Going to be seeing a Temple Archives coming up, our Phoenix coming through, a couple of gateways being set up as well. It's going to be seeing our probes going down as we had some pressure on the other side from Maru. Going decently for the moment. Just having that +2 attack upgrade coming in, a couple of probes going down, that gets dealt with as our Ghost Academy also coming up. Maru's in the middle of the map, as will Classic be. Don't know if this is the kind of army Maru wants to actually fight against right now. Like, he's got so much on the way that's going to help him fight these armies. Taking an engagement right now is definitely not going to benefit him too heavily or anything. As you see the Zealots, the Archons, the Colossi are going to come through. Refineries will start to take some shots. Maru retreats all the way back, including lifting this orbital off and pulling that away. Medevac there to pick off a few probes already, and just seeing the STV getting taken down. Going to see another missile turret picked off as well. This army of Classic could potentially go up that ramp into the natural. It definitely has some potential on that, as a couple of Viking shots going to take the Colossus down. The Observer going to get taken down as well. Well, so many Widow Mines running up into this is not going to be fun for the Protoss, and Maru just says, yeah, you know, I'm already doing enough as he kills 5 probes again across the map. He just knows he can defend on 2 bases if he needs to. He'll pull SCVs. He knows, again, this is just a defend and win scenario. And he's going to do just that. He has the units left over to keep on chasing. The Archons will get chased down as well. He's just about these Colossi, and obviously maybe the Prism too, because the Prism's going to micro the Colossi a bit. But everything will fall. Classic will fall, and Maru is going to advance on through. 3-0 through this matchup. Maru is going to be in the semifinals tomorrow, playing Bjorn